Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I'm quite often asked how I get inspiration. And I find inspiration around in all sorts of things. But today, my inspiration has come from a gardening magazine leaflet that came through the post. And these absolutely gorgeous colours of these flowers, which is autumn planting. And I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to recreate those colours in a card using a flower that we can create those colours with. So that's my inspiration for today. So we're going to put that to one side. The stamps that I'm going to use is Tasteful Touches. Absolutely love this. It has the most beautiful flower on there that we can use to colour in that manner. And I thought we'd do a couple of different techniques and put them all together on a card. So simple ways of colouring and getting autumn. So we need some sort of scrappy pieces to start off with. So I'm going to start with these pieces here and just see how we go. And I'm going to take the flower from here. And we're just going to pop it on a block. So let me just get one of our blocks. I'm using a D block. D blocks are really useful because they work for all sorts of things. And I've got our watercolor pencils. I've also got our water painters, which are 3 different brushes. We're only going to probably use 1 or 2 out of those. All links below will show you details of these if you want to get them from my store. And colours, autumnal colours. So we've used them in a card before. Cajun Craze, Calypso Coral, Soft Suede and Pumpkin Pie. Blended together, beautiful autumnal colours. So we're going to start and we will do the first one in... let's do it in Calypso Coral and see how that one works. We're going to do the outlines in different colours and then we'll take them in different ways. So it doesn't matter where you're going to stamp them because we are just going to fussy cut them out. So that's one of them and that's in our Calypso Coral. Let me just get my Simply chamois out. And then I can just clean this one off. Now, depending how juicy your ink pads are, you can see on this one, it's fairly juicy. So it'll take a little while for that one to dry, but that's all right. We'll hold fire on that one for a minute. Let's do one in Cajun Craze. Again, I know that this is quite a juicy one as well. So when you buy ink pads, you don't need to buy refills for quite a long time. And if you're in the UK, that's probably a good thing because we're having problems customs-wise with a lot of our refills. However, as you can see, most of our ink pads will last you a long time. So we've got one in Cajun Craze, we've got one in Calypso Coral. We're going to do one in, let's do one in Soft Suede. So I'm going to put those one just slightly out of the way for now. And we're going to do 4 and they're going to look different, but when they come together, hopefully they will look okay. So this one is going to be in Soft Suede. And then we'll do one in Pumpkin Pie. So let's just take this one in Pumpkin Pie. And that one can go just down on there. Okay, so we've got 4 different colours in 4 different colour tones. And we want to try and recreate some of the real brightness in the picture that I was showing you. Sorry, I'm just putting my stamp set back in off camera. So, if we look at this picture again, you've got gorgeous different bright oranges, which is going to be the pumpkin pie, with some other sort of tones and things coming in. So let's have a little look with watercolor pencils to start off with. We do 2 different sets of watercolor pencils. I've got both of them and I put them together in a one of our cases, which again really good for storing things in. So we're going to use the pumpkin pie. We're going to use the Daffodil Delight. We're going to use, that's crushed curry. And I'm not sure whether, I had a feeling that there is Cajun Craze here. And we're going to use Cajun Craze. So let's try those ones. We've probably got soft suede. Have we got soft suede, or is it early espresso? I don't think there's a soft suede in them. No. So let's put those down. We'll start with those to start off with. Now I'm going to use let's use these ones, which will have had more of a chance to dry. So we can use, let's do it on this one. So this is a Calypso Coral. And then what I'm going to do is use the watercolor pencils. And literally I am just putting a base layer down right the way across. So don't worry about being too precise. We're literally just putting a layer of colour down. So you don't have to, as I say, concentrate a little bit around your edges, because you don't want your edges to be too not exact. So round your edges, you know, just concentrate on there. But in the middle, you can just scribble around very quickly like I'm doing. This is just a way, as I say, of just laying down colour that you can build up. The Calypso Coral that we've used will bleed through as well, because our inks are water based. So you can take both of those plus this pumpkin pie. We're going to do the yellow right in the centre. So I'm just going to put yellow right in on the centre here. And then I'm going to take some of that Cajun Craze and just do a little bit on the inside of these ones. And as I say, just a little bit. You don't want to have too much, because all we're going to do is to blend the whole lot through in a minute. And it should give us quite a nice sort of look. So let's take our water painters. And I'm taking the middle one. There are 3 different sizes, but I'm just going to take the middle one. And hopefully we've got a bit of moisture on here. And then I'm literally just going to start blending this through. Just like this on each one. And you can see how it's starting to come out a bit brighter. Now I do need to get just a little bit more water on this, so I'm just going to take some in. Sometimes they're not the easiest to get the water coming through. So if I can just get some out, I can then use it as a bit of a palette. That's not going through very well. In fact, I'm going to use, just because I can, I've got my original aqua painters, which I know you get the water through on those really quite quickly. So I'm just going to get some water coming through on that one. It says me, it must be that time of year because the water's not, that's better. So with this, all you're going to do is, and you can see this is quite wet because you want it reasonably wet, because what you want to do is to blend this through on each one of these, the petals. So do a petal at a time, and you're just going to blend that colour through. So you've got the really bright orange, you've got the other which is just a little bit paler, and it'll all come through. And then clean it off. So clean it off on a bit of kitchen roll. So I always keep a bit of kitchen roll, and then you can do your centre part here, which has got the yellow in it. Okay, so if we then take this and we look at that compared to our picture, you can see you've got this really sort of vibrant colour, which is the pumpkin pie. Now I'm going to just literally on the Cajun Craze, all I'm going to do is to take the aqua painter or your water painter, and this time all I'm doing is, where you've stamped, because Cajun Craze is such a dark colour, I'm just using the water painter. You can use just a paintbrush with some water, and I'm literally just blending the colour through. So because it's a water-based ink, you can then get the colour coming through, and you don't need to add any other colour at all. So we've got this one, just take it up round the edges, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the bit in the centre. So as I say, you can bleed it through as much as you want, and you've got a second flower. Okay, now on this one, let's go for yellows and oranges. So we've got crushed curry, which is a really rather nice bright yellow colour, and again I am literally, just as we did before, I'm just, as you can see, scribbling through. When you do it, spend a little bit more time than me, but it does show you that you don't have to spend a huge amount of time colouring through. You're just laying down. Concentrate round your edges so that you don't get it all over the place, but on the inside you can literally just sort of scribble away. Okay, so this one is crushed curry on the outside, and then we're going to take the Daffodil Delight in the centre, and then this one we'll do the Daffodil Delight to start off with, because that's the paler, and then we'll take it through onto each one of these petals here, and literally again you're just blending it through with your water painter or your aqua painter if you've still got those, or just a paintbrush dipped in some water. That's all you need, because watercolor pencils, as soon as you add water to them, they turn into paint, which makes it a really lovely, easy thing to do. Okay, so this has all been done. Now you can do them with alcohol markers. I'm not going to do them with alcohol markers this time. However, this last one, I'm going to take Cajun Craze, which is a nice dark one. I'm going to use the ink. I'm going to take the ink onto a block. Then I'm going to take my aqua painter, pick up some colour, and then I can go through and actually paint each one of these in the Cajun Craze, which again is a lovely sort of rusty autumny colour. Just pick it up as I go, careful round my edges, but you don't have to be, as I say, overly precise with this. You can do it in all different shades as well. So just by doing it with an aqua painter, it makes it quite nice that you will get different tones, so you'll get lights and darks automatically. I'll just get these ones up on here. A little bit more on this one. Like that, and then in the centre, do want that to be a little bit different, so let me take, what shall we have? I'm going to have a little bit of the pumpkin pie, I think, in the centre, because that's quite a nice bright orangey colour. So I'm just going to take just a little bit of the pumpkin pie, clean my brush off so it comes clear, pick up a little bit of this one, and then that's just going to go in the centre, because that'll make it just a little bit brighter. And I can just go around those little white bits that I might have missed. Okay, so we now have four different ones, 4 different looks. And then all we need to do is take a pair of paper snips, scissors out, and it's such an easy shape to cut out. There's no real sort of fiddling about at all, and just cut them out. So you can cut them close to the border, you can give a little bit of a border, but you can see it's a really easy shape to cut out. And the only reason I'm cutting it out is because then we can put dimensionals on and give just a little bit of extra height when we're doing our card. So we've got 4 different colours, 4 different looks, but with a very autumnal feel, because the colours we've used are the rich, warm oranges and browns, which are the autumn colours that we want. So I'm just sort of, as I say, going to cut these out very quickly. So you can fast forward this bit if you want to, or you can listen to me talking about different things. As I say, I've got some Halloween coming up. I don't do a lot of Halloween, but I must admit that in the UK we do get a few young children coming round doing trick-or-treating. And so I always have a little basket of goodies and things for them. So I've got a couple of little Halloween little goodie bags, little treat bags, those sorts of things, which I thought were quite fun. And again, using a stamp set which only has a little bit of Halloween on, because again, you know, in the UK, it's to buy a stamp set which is all about Halloween. For me, I wouldn't use it often enough. So I tend to buy a stamp set that has maybe a little bit of Halloween in, but not a lot. And then I can use that because, as you know, if I buy a stamp set, I've always turned around and said I use it again and again and again. I know a lot of people, in fact, I was talking to somebody the other day who was turning around and saying that they've got, I think it was 120 stamp sets, and they've only been a demonstrator a year, and some of them they haven't used at all. And for me, I've been a demonstrator now nearly 5 years, and I use every single one of the stamp sets I buy because I look at it as it's an investment. Yes, I love to have customers who buy stamp sets, but I don't like to encourage people to buy a stamp set that they're only going to use it for one particular image that they fell in love with and go like, oh, I've got to have it for that one little image, because I think that's a bit of a waste. I really do. And it's okay if you've got an endless budget and, you know, you're quite happy to buy lots of stamp sets just for one particular stamp. But for me, half the fun is turning around and going, okay, I've bought this stamp set. It's an investment. So can I use it for at least 5 different things? And if I can't use it for 5 things immediately, then I turn around and go, do I really need it? Am I going to use it? Is it going to sit on my shelf gathering dust? And I then a year later turn around and go, oh, I never used that stamp set. And I don't do that. Now, I have got lots of stamp sets, but I use each and every one of them. And that's what I like sort of showing to all of you guys, is how you can take one stamp set and use it for many different projects and many different times of year, and not have to invest in lots and lots of different stamp sets when you're not going to use them. If you use them, fantastic. But if you're not going to use them, then for me, they're just gathering dust. Okay, so we've got 3. We've got one more to do. And we'll put this one on so very quickly. And as you can see, it doesn't take very much time. I know some people have said, you know, oh, I'm not very good at fussy cutting. You don't really have to be with something like this, because It's a very simple image. I'm not spending a lot of time. I'm chatting away to you. It's not an intricate thing to do. It's literally just cutting it out. If you really don't like fussy cutting, you can do this as a one layer. Just do a single one as a mask and stamp it out 4 times. But I like to have a little bit of dimension sometimes on things, and I think that this will work beautifully, and again will give that lovely autumnal feel to a card. So I've just got to get this little bit down in here, and then we're almost done. Oh, well, with our cutting out anyway. So just take this bit round on here. Just got it caught on that bit. Right, there we go. So these are just our scrappy bits that we don't want. So let's just move those out of the way. Oh, I do want that because that's going to give me my sentiment. So let's have a look and see what we're going to choose for a sentiment. Just need to clean this off. Cleaning your blocks, very easy. Just literally use your kitchen roll. So if you don't have pencils, you don't need pencils. You can use your ink pads. I must admit I use my pencils quite a lot because I do like the colour tones that you get with the pencils. So if we take sentiment wise, what are we going to use? Let's get the stamp set back and see. You are so special. I want a sentiment that runs that way along, that's not too big. So you are so special, which is nice. That will go for everything. And I think I'm going to do it in, let's do it in soft suede. So I'm just going to stamp that in on here like that, and then just clean it off with my Simply Chamois. And then I am going to, now I could use a die or something to cut it out. I think on this occasion I'm literally just going to cut it through, take it just a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller on here. That should be about right. Maybe just a little bit more off at this end. Looks a little long. That's better. Okay, so that's our sentiment. And I might just sponge the sides. Now you could mat it, but let me have a look and see what it's going to look like on the card. I've taken just a card base. I've just taken a mat and we're going to put it down. I'm not going to do all the gluing and sticking because you don't really need to see that, but we can take the 3 different flowers, put those up with dimensionals, and I might just put one down this way, one down, oh, I like that yellow that way, I think. One down in that direction, and we'll have another one going down like that. So I think that will look beautiful. Let me get my dimensionals out because we can stick those on depending how I'm doing on time. But yeah, I think I will just use, now I've got some large ones here that I need to use up, so that's perfect. As I say, I never waste anything, so with these ones where we've done some watercolouring, if they're a little bit sort of curled, just sort of straighten them out first and then take your dimensionals and just put them across where you want to put them. So I've got one on here like this, and then these I can simply just cut down and we can put those through and down on here. So let's have one sort of at that angle, have another one through there, through down on there, down on there, one up on there. Take these ones, let's put this one in down on that corner. We'll have the sentiment as well, and I might just sponge around the sides. As I say, I don't know, we'll see once we've got it on. Now what colourway did I say we were going to use? We're going to have the dark one at the top because I like that one. So we'll put the dark one at the top first. And we'll have that at that sort of angle. Then we were going to have the yellow tucked in underneath. This one tucked in there. And that one down on the bottom there. Yes, that'll look nice. Okay, so we'll have this one in on here. It's nice to turn them around so you have them in different sort of places and they're just sort of overlapping each other. So we'll have one there. We'll have this one in underneath on here, and we can tuck that one in so that that little leaf goes in on there like that way, and then we can take this one and we'll have this one in down here. Just going to tuck it in so that it comes over in. You can see where that little piece is here because I want them all sort of tucking in together. So let's just ease that in, just in underneath there like that. So we've got that coming down that way. So that's basically there on there. And then we can take our sentiment and we can put that in across like that. So am I going to sponge it or am I just going to put it down with... I don't think it needs sponging actually. I think it needs just a little dimensional in on that end like that. So let's take one of these ones. We'll put that one in that way. Like that. And then we just need a little bit of glue on the other side. So let me just take a little bit of wet glue on that side. Put this across like this. And then this can go in across like that at the bottom. And that can be stuck down on there. And then you've got, as I say, a really rather pretty card. Now, if you want to get a few little rhinestones and things, you know, dot a little series of rhinestones round, tie some ribbon round. In fact, autumnal ribbon. The copper ribbon is absolutely beautiful. Let me have a look and see if I've got any of it. Yes, here it is. My absolute favourite ribbon at the moment. Comes in a double pack, but again, just tie round on this bit. And I'm not going to do it now, but I'll probably do it for the front one. Nice little bit of copper ribbon. And you've got a beautiful autumnal card. And if we take our colours back, you can see that we have used, let me take the shine off it. You can see that the colours here complement and give inspiration for the lovely sort of autumn flowers that you get at this time of year. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe, please stay well, and please be kind. Bye-bye.